نز دنیا نز عقبی نز جنت نز دوزخ نز آدم نز حوا نز فردوس رسوانه مکانه و مکان باشه
Om. Namaste. Welcome everyone to Satsang today. Very good to see you. I'm looking here. I promise I will get around to these some point, but I don't know if it is going to be. We will address the ones I feel touched by, and put them on the website. You can read. Maybe I might get through some of them at some point, but for now I will just. Okay, you come for now.
Namaskar, Muji.
Namaste.
I know about you only for 4 days, and it is my third satsang with you. Saturday and Sunday I've been here, and a wonderful opening happened.
Sure.
And there was sunshine inside. And then Monday and Tuesday it's all like darkness again. So I've been looking for the sufferer, as you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm asking your help to cut the tree of the root, as you said, whatever it may mean.
Yes. This is you want to cut the root of this tree. This is a very ancient tree. It's a very ancient tree. So you may not chop him in one go. So you have to have some urge inside you,
yes,
to complete. And however long it takes, also should be your attitude, however long. Myself, I don't like to waste time. If we can use chainsaw, we use chainsaw. We don't have to work with the axe only. But at the same time, realistically, it may come also for someone who is here for the first time, even without any kind of conscious spiritual background. It could come, that tree could fall down today.
Sorry.
But we are not expecting that. We're saying that, yes, I am open for this. It has happened that somebody who's coming for the first time and somehow it resonates so powerfully inside that that tree seems to be cut. Nevertheless, new shoots start to come up at some point, but they're easy to pull out. You see?
Okay.
Like that.
Yes. I'd like to say that I've been in satsang with other teachers for a long time.
Okay, very good, very good. So what has happened, you say that what has happened then, since in 2 days something seems to have cleared?
Yeah.
And then...
2 days, great joy and like I was aware, I am aware, and it was alive and full of joy and light.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and wow. And
yes.
Then it's completely switched off. And emotions, despair, depression, and everything.
This is something that is common for most people. It's going to happen. I'm sure maybe it has happened before also, that there is some impact internally has taken place, and the mind energy seems to have been blown away. And now only just a clear space of being is here. And then gradually, I told that I had a little pond in my garden, and somebody gave me this plant called duckweed in England. And we put a little bit in, and in a short time it spread completely over the surface of the pond. And it just looks like grass, actually. You would almost step on it. Looks like grass. And you throw a stone in it, and suddenly clean, clear water is seen. Then leave it a bit, and gradually they close up again, like that. Okay? So this is a tendency what happens, no? You're searching for clean water. And then somehow the stone, a pebble from satsang drops into your pond, and clean water is there, no? But then somehow it seems like slowly the weeds close back of the mind, okay?
Yeah.
But another thing is there, which is awareness itself. Awareness itself is neither the weed nor the water. Who follows me? Cha. The awareness itself is neither the weed, which is the plant that moves. That's, I call it mind. Okay? And the clear water is what? The sense of being. The sense of being, whose perfume is peace, natural joy, silence, wisdom, happiness, no? Is there.
It's not even so.
Huh?
It's not even that.
Not even that. Okay, she says now, not even that. Then what? Then what? Please listen. Huh? Then what then? If it's not even that, because that space, I say, is the perfume of the being itself. That joy, the peace. You said yourself, joy. There was joy.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful, tremendous.
Wonderful. Wonderful is the being. Wonderful is the being, you see. What about beyond wonderful? Is there beyond wonderful? Which is neither wonderful nor not wonderful. Perfect. Then wonderful becomes its perfume. You see, I was struck by your response. You say, not even that. I said, well, not even that? Not even that. Then
because it goes also, so cannot be this.
No. Not like this. Because the happiness came, the happiness also seemed to have gone. It seems to have gone, isn't it?
Yes.
I say that is the perfume itself. It seems to have gone. Then what remained now then, you see? And now a few days ago, I don't know if you were here when we did this simple exercise. Were you here, no? Yes.
Yes.
And in this exercise, it is so beautiful. I would love to teach this exercise to the whole world. Because if you're clear, if you're sharp and you look at a few times, it gives you a clear perspective of what is this world, the dynamics of the activities of the world which you call life is the buzz. And then at the same time you are perceiving the space of being which is not mixed with the buzz. You see? And then there's awareness even of that also. So where is the place for that awareness itself now? You see? This is clear, a sort of a physical metaphor for the realization of the self, actually. To show you your neutral ground, which is the place of being. If you understand this, not just mentally is okay, but not enough. If you understand it, but with your full being, that's how you feel your understanding, that there are mental and emotional and the psychic and the feeling, the tangible feeling of that inside, all together makes up a sort of conviction. You see? Then there is something even more than conviction. Something that doesn't need conviction, it simply is. So when you said, it's not even that, I thought you were saying, well, it's that within which, it's that thing which has no quality. Who has come to that place without quality, you see? Who has come to that place without quality itself? Not as a visitor. Don't come here as a visitor, but seeing that that is the effortless source and the root itself, and it's not different from your intuitive sense of self. We have a few things just to talk about these things. In this very small bubble of conversation, all your troubles can be solved, actually. Because we have come to the very essence of what debates at the highest level can come to this place. And we won't have a lot of concepts. I don't have a lot of concepts to want to share with you. Because you have to go also beyond earlier than concepts. I never thought that I would be able to sit in such a large group of people and say something like earlier than concepts. I thought only few people will be interested in that. And maybe there's still only very few amongst you who can sense what is the perfectness of your inmost being. And that is not a theory, not something you read about, but what you are. But always the people think then it's a gamble. If I take that, then I lose everything. They're feeling like that. If I go so far, I can't come back. But all of this is just the bogey stories of the mind. I can say all this I am also. But I'm beyond all this. You said, I was in bliss for 2 days. Bliss, you know. Some people, they don't know this. And then the mind comes. Everyone say like this. I was walking through the Red Sea in my life. Everything was falling apart. No struggle. My life was totally spontaneous, pure, effortless, full joy. And then, everybody say and then. We're going to make a book called And Then. Because I want to find out what is and then. We have to go to and then means finish. Then Mr. Mind came back and Mr. Bliss moved away. Like this.
Yes.
We need to look at what happened there. And if that is what is really happening, if that is the full truth, there is joy. there's bliss. Is that the final bliss, you see, like that? And if it is always, as truth must be, truth cannot be truth sometimes and not quite truth another time. So what can be like that? Is there anything you know that can be like that? That is consistently what it is. Does not change. Then also what happened? Then something occurred and it seemed as though the bliss was covered or that it was removed. It was gone and replaced by now sorrow, confusion, frustration. The old regime of the mind is back. Now I ask you, what witnesses both these phenomena? Isn't it? Because you are here talking about it. The bliss came. Bliss came? Yes, bliss came and went. Then also, mind came also. And seemed like it's a long-term visitor, this one. Bliss is only for the weekend. Yeah. Then mind comes and says, move over now.
At work.
Back to work. Isn't it? What witnesses the bliss and also witnesses the coming in of the mind also now. And I don't just want a quick answer, don't want the answer, because they're never true. Just allow the question to search you out. Allow the question to search here for a little bit. And then when you speak, you must be very present with your words then. They speak something, some power. Because what is already a fact is that you have already expressed that something is capable of seeing the bliss and seeing the and then and the mind. What is that? And what is the state of that? What is the state of that? Bliss came, bliss went. Mind came also, still hanging around. But what perceived both of them? Where is that?
I would consciousness of being me.
You are seeing.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. From the seeing place, is anything happening?
No.
No. Now I want to ask you, for those of you who knows this, what she's speaking about, and some of you know it intimately, which is greater, the bliss that came and went, or the weakness of bliss which cannot come or go? Take your time. Even bliss, you say, came and went. Divine quality. And now the regime of the mind comes back. Move over, I'm in. Both are witnessed, so therefore both are phenomenal, meaning that they have no eternal life about them. They are merely appearances in the mind and consciousness. They are both witnessed. Then the question comes, is the witness caught in the bubble of the bliss or the mind? No. You say no. Which is greater? Which is more true? The bliss that come and go or seem to come and go? Or the mind that seems to come and go or stay? Or the witness of both? Which is the most stable?
The witness.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's here.
Yes. Everyone is attracted to the bliss. And everyone is repelled by the mind. Who is attracted to the witness? Now, is the attraction to the witness other than the witness? Is it not also witnessed? Yes. Can the witness be witnessed also? Let's slow down and just do it. Because everything, I want to tell you, everything that is the common ailment, the common sickness or troublesome to the humankind mind is in these questions here. We don't know quite in all of this, what is our true position and what we are. That's all my satsang is concerned about. But other things, more domestic things, I said don't put too much attention on these. They will be cleared up by themselves. Out of the light of your understanding, the realization or the recognition of your true self, automatically many things will start to flow beautifully. So let's not focus on those. That's wasting time. Let's not catch small fish. Let's go for the biggie. Mr. Biggie. So that which is witnessing the bliss, because when bliss comes, everybody's happy. They say even the heavenly beings, they're happy. They have searched for the nectar of immortality, they say. The Ananda itself. But something watches Ananda also. And watches shaky mind. It has very few devotees. Why? Because the human mind is attracted to experience. It wants flavor. And of course, bliss is the most beautiful. Something wants the bliss. Is the something that wants the bliss, is it true, you see? Is it the truth? What is the condition of that which is aware of bliss and the coming in of bliss and the coming in or the play of mind? What is watching this, you see? In yourself, you must, whatever I'm speaking, I'm not going to ask you to go and find the answer in the next room. Right where you are. Look and feel and ponder over it. There's a saying, I want to taste the honey. I don't want to be the honey. We want to taste the honey. We don't want to be the honey. What it means, I want the experience of the taste. Can the honey taste itself? Then what's the point of the honey? Is it only for the bees, the honey? So this taster is still acting in the role of the seeker. Sometimes the seeker is seeking but ultimately afraid of finding. Because finding means no more seeking. And sometimes we become attached to the seeking. Because along the way we stop at so many chai shops seeking. Nice temple here, beautiful friends and so on. So we like the journey of the seeking also. Some don't, some suffer it. That which you are seeking is where? How many kilometers from you? How many meters or centimeters or millimeters from you? What you are seeking? So let's come back to you now again. You say,
there is no distance. It's me.
yeah, yes.
Naturally.
Yes, yes, yes.
Naturally.
Okay. What about if you're only you? Don't touch anything else. You're only yourself. Nothing else. Don't touch. And just try for a moment. Just be this. Just only be you. Even trying is misleading. Don't touch other. For a moment and see. You say that it's only me. It's only me. If there's only me, and it's not personal, not the person, There's something which is subtler than the person. It knows the person and personality. It's not the person and personality. It's an inner knowingness. Be this knowingness even. Go to this knowingness, which is not traveling about. It's a sort of presence. And be this presence now. And see if anything is missing. Sometimes what happens is that you have an experience which you say bliss took place and then it went. Now, because it went, there is now the thirst for the return of bliss. This can happen. Then you say, well, when it was the bliss, that was it. The mind says, that was it. Now, how can I make that bliss stable? How can I make it constant? Because if I can be happy all the time, then forget about enlightenment. I'm happy with the bliss, Okay? So, would that be it? Because there are some beings who enlightenment, what we call enlightenment, okay, it's not what they want. This is fine. But they want the bliss, they want the joy, they just want to enjoy. But whatever enlightenment is, that's not turning them on. They're not turned on by that. Because they have a picture that enlightenment is going to make you look like this. No party, no girlfriend, no golden Buddha. So they said, no, we don't want, we just want the fun. We want the Buddha's fun. Like that. Only me, you say, is there. This me is what? Is it lacking anything? Can that which feels like emptiness be higher than bliss, be higher than knowledge? Can it be? Can we? Pure, complete, unchanging, total content, beyond the concept of contentment even. Is that what you mean when you say, just me?
I mean, something that's natural.
Something that's natural?
Yes.
Yes. Natural means effortless, actually?
Yes.
It is effortless?
Yes.
Acha. That's what is remaining now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And what about the things that come and go and bang on your head? What about them? Where is there any room for those? Can you hear at the back what we're speaking? Yes, okay. Because is it possible, like you're saying, which is beautiful, that now there's only me, or which is that which is just natural? Beautiful. Is there any space within that for on the head? Is there any room for that, or and will that which you refer to be affected by the buzz of manifestation? Is it?
It's not affected.
Yes. It's very good.
There is still the sense of being affected in the same time.
Yes. This is true. This is authentic. Walking but not walking. Talking but not talking. Understanding but not understanding. This is the strange utterances that will come out of the mouth of the one who is seeing. It seems like everything is going on, but actually nothing is going on. Is it a bit like that?
Yes. Yeah, there is both.
There is both. Which is the greater? Are they the same or is one greater?
One is permanent.
Yeah, permanent. Then, okay, permanent is good enough. Meaning other one is not permanent.
No.
Very good. Is there anything that anybody can do for that which is permanent?
No.
No. And who are you?
Permanent. and both.
This is good. I am both. I am both that which is permanent and that which seems to be impermanent and moving about. I am that also, but I'm not that absolutely.
It's like there is I can see a movement going to the...
Yeah.
I can see inside.
But that is watched.
Yes.
Yeah. The movement is not watching the source. The movement itself is watched from the source. But not by the source itself. The source is not interested looking. But perceiving of that movement is occurring within the source itself. Would it be like that?
Yes. Yeah. I see coming to the body, something is moving to feeling on the body and...
Yes. So just little contemplation for you to do, to stay, and to keep confirming what is the movement and what is the non-movement, okay? And what witnesses both. Just this you have to do. And by itself, all confusion is vanished. Like that. That's all you have to do. And it is a joy to speak with you about that.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks to you. Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Aja. Many new faces are here today. So, I would like to, because you may hear some things you think, I just can't understand what he's talking about. And that is perfectly natural at a state, because for many people it takes a while for the worldly mind, I would say, to defrost. It's defrosting. Satsang is a good place for its defrosting. But some little agitation may come, because you're feeling like I'm speaking about something and the mind is not connecting with what that is. Like some people, they try to meditate, and as soon as they close their eyes, it's like a tsunami of thought. And they say, meditation is not for me. And the very fact, actually, that when you attempt meditation or self-inquiry, that this powerful reaction happens, is actually a good sign. It means you're onto something, and something doesn't like it for a bit. But it's not deep. It's not deep. All this is just the play of waves on the surface of an ocean, which you are that ocean itself. You're also the waves, but you're not just the waves. The wave is your play. The ocean is your being. This clarity must come for you. So what needs to happen very often, I would say this. At first, the mental energy, the personal energy is very high. And in this state, energetically, you're not able to assimilate a subtler truth. This is why for sometimes it takes a while to slow down so that that energy slowly is landing somehow. Slow down. Then at a certain point, it sort of meets what I call the cosmic energy field. When it reaches this is a natural thing. You don't have to try anything. When it reaches that, it widens out. In that state, internally, you're able to understand energetically what is being said. It means you're back again in your heart's energy field. There are other words we can use for what I'm saying. So don't get stuck into words, but these are good enough for now. This agitated state is slowing down. The energy field of satsang is assisting that slowing down. When you slow down to meet your natural field, you'll begin to understand what I'm speaking, not just understand what's speaking, but assimilate and be conversant with the energy field of the heart. Well, I'll put it like that. This is a natural thing. I don't want anybody to go and study this thing. It's happening naturally. After a little bit of time in satsang, you're returning to your natural mind, natural state, like that. Now, some people ask, yes, this is true for me. How can I retain that harmony now? How can I retain it, you see? Actually, the one who is asking, how can I retain it, all needs to happen, they need to understand what they are. Because this question normally is coming from a place of identity. You are before identity is formed in you. You are earlier than identity. Something is there, it's very pure, and it is always there. But somehow when the consciousness is acting through the body along with the vital force, the breath, and the consciousness and the body together is there. Identification came about with the body, and the consciousness, which is not a body, began to feel, I am the body. Once it feels I am the body, other concepts can come in the form of conditioning. On top of that root condition, that root concept, I am the body, then other concepts can build on top of it. And in a short while, we have the construct called a person, which is also consciousness, but consciousness in a very contracted and limited form. Remember, we are all that pure consciousness. In satsang, there is a returning to our original state. This is why you become happy and peaceful and much more expansive in your outlook, more panoramic in your field of perception, more generous in your being, fearless in life, and the attitude towards death becomes very small, disappear altogether. When you are again, the mind has returned to its source, which is you, actually. When mind is identified strongly with body and this personality and so on, the consciousness becomes somehow attached to this new identity and believe that to be itself. It is an aggressive field, a field of suffering duality actually. Duality by itself does not mean it's false, but duality is necessary in order that experiencing can happen. It is not a mistake at the divine level. it is a necessity, this dualistic functioning of consciousness, that makes perceiving and experiencing possible. Just I'm talking about this thing. Once consciousness identifies itself and arises as a sense of person or personhood, it is a restless state. It is driven by waves and streams which it cannot control for a while. This is why sometimes you feel your mind is attacking you. The mind cannot attack the pure being. It could only attack the idea you have of who you are. You follow? It cannot attack your pure self. It can only attack your self-image or the idea we have of who we are. In fact, this is a good thing. It is a good thing that the identity comes under attack, because if it didn't, we would not stand a chance of coming out of it. Being attacked by the mind creates the aspiration inside to go more deeply and to come to a stabler place which is out of the reach of the mind. This is the play of life. The impulse of existence is to be continuously evolving. And why? To come back to its original place. It's like a cycle like that. I'm just saying these things, not giving you a practice. So, this identified consciousness now arises. At first, it is just attached to the senses. It just wants to be shopping through the senses, to enjoy the manifold existence, to enjoy duality. But after a while, it becomes stuck. It feels like it's out of harmony. Things are not working. Your dreams are crashing, and so on. This is also a good thing. It means that it's time for change. And you're giving birth to deeper regions in yourself. So these are the birth pains to a deeper understanding, to a deeper evolved state of consciousness. Then you come to be born on a new level. Then after a while also that becomes saturated, and the aspiration again to go more deeply or more higher. This is the drive, the impulse of consciousness in its expression as life is like this. This is what's happening inside us. There are some beings who have transcended all these stages. They are known in this country as Gyanis or sages or Havadutas or something like that, Munis. They are not oppressed by the energetic streams of consciousness and the vital force. They have again returned to their original place. They have the sense nothing is happening. But still, they function in life and can have tastes like we have tastes. They can discern the differences between things, but now it's become superficial. It is not on the front page of consciousness for them. That stage of awakening is also in you. It's our potential. Now, there are some beings here who are ready for that. They're open for that. They don't feel that they're aspiring for more and more experiences because they know all experiences come and go. Is there an experience which does not come and go? Only the pure self. The pure self is what we are. It has created a self-portrait or a self-portraiting as life and being a person. This person is not true, but it is a painting of consciousness. It is an organic painting of consciousness, evolving through life in a journey to return to its root, to itself again. This urge is inside us. You cannot develop it. You can only respond to it. In fact, you are the responding to it at the same time. It's happening like that. I'm saying these things, but I'm not asking you to keep them, because I'm not speaking to your mind. I'm speaking to you as consciousness. Now the exercise I want to show you again, also for those of you who have been here before, but also people who are coming for the first time. If you understand and grasp this, because it's very, very simple, but it has the power to reveal the different layers of the functioning of consciousness and the recognition of the awareness by itself. So I highly recommend it for those of you who want to just be clear, but not just mentally clear, but felt clear. We are not creating new states. You are recognizing what is here, which has not been recognized. And because we don't recognize it, we keep being confused that you are something else, and you are functioning from another place. And that's why things are not stable, because our being is naturally stable, naturally radiant, generating compassion in the field of duality, feeling naturally happy, naturally peaceful. It's not chopped up in parts. It is one totality. Just like this fan. It is a fan even now. When I open it, it's a fan still. When I'm halfway, it's still the fan. It's one thing. It is like the totality is one thing. And the first extension is the extension into the sense of being. When you have the feeling, I am, means I exist. Your parents did not teach you that. Nobody taught you that. It arose spontaneously within you, the intuition, I am, I exist. That is the first extension, you can say like that. Extend further, and this I am became conditioned to believe I am the body. A limitation. Then comes the whole world. I am the body, this is the world, this is experiencing. What is spirituality? The search again for original unity. Why? Because the belief I am the body is not unified. It's a limitation. It is meant to be a limitation because if it was a truth, you would not go beyond the I am the body idea. Life hurts more for those who are identified with being the body because it is highly impregnated with dualistic conditioning. I am just saying these things. The exercise I'm going to show you now, which all can do, it will not harm you, it will not turn you into some freak or something. It's not going to make you spaced out. It is just a very clear recognition that makes that anybody can actually do it. Children can do. It has no religious connotation to it. First part of it, I have to explain, is that mostly we think our life is the functioning of the waking state. In deep sleep, you don't talk about your life. In deep sleep, I went so... No, that's dream. In deep sleep, the consciousness is not active in dualistic functioning. I think we all know that. We don't have to talk so much about that. Our life, as we know it, our friendships, our family, the sense of future, your career, who you think you are, who you would like to be, the notions of heaven and hell, gods and demons, life and death, you and me, this and that, all of that you may call the waking state consciousness and its activities. It's simple enough, like that we say. All of this, including as soon as the consciousness is awake, the waking state is there, functioning of perception is taking place. So the world seems to be moving and there's awareness of it. Just so you're sitting here. You can hear the sound of the birds. You can feel the sunlight. You can feel the warmth of the day increasingly. You're aware of my voice, of the people around you, the sound of rickshaws going by, all of these things, without moving at all. Simply, it is there. You can turn your attention to anything. If I say, let's just listen to the birds now, the attention can just go and be focused on listening to the birds. You're not doing anything sweaty at all. If not, it stays into a kind of panoramic openness, and all sounds can drift through. Not just sounds, but all the evidence of the senses are functioning naturally, and awareness of that, perception of that is taking place naturally. This is the marvelousness of consciousness. Let's take it that if all your perception, including the sound of the bird that's happening now, your memory of yesterday's bird singing, your parents, your family, where you would like to go when you leave this place, what countries you want to visit, your hopes and aspirations, the sound of traffic. Even if this place was so quiet that you could hear your heart beating, you can feel the blood flowing, you can hear the breath moving, everything that is perceivable. I am going to call it the buzz of existence. You follow? I'm going to show you the exercise. Exercise is like this. You take a breath inside, take a deep breath. I don't want you to do it completely, but listen first as I'm doing it. Take a deep breath and imagine that there's a balloon, like your lung is a balloon. And you take a deep breath, and then you don't tie the end of the balloon, you simply release it. You're not breathing out, so don't put any intention on, you're not breathing out. You breathe in and you release the opening of your balloon, and it just comes out. It's just coming out naturally by itself. So the action is not that you are breathing out. When the breath is coming out, let it come through only the nose for a minute. This exercise, many people who have done some pranayama, they probably know it. I did not come from that background. So when it was shown to me, because it was helpful for a condition I had physically, immediately on being shown, I saw the effectiveness of the same exercise as a metaphor, a physical and practical one, for the functioning of the universe, for the ground of being, which is unmoving, and for the witnessing of both of them in one exercise. So I am not presenting this to you as a pranic or pranayama exercise, but simply as a kind of window in which you are able to see the functioning around your inmost being and what it is that is inmost but cannot be seen. Are you up for it? The breath, as it's coming out the nostrils only, will make a buzzing sound. You're going to do that. You can do it without the buzz, but for the exercise, the breath is in, out and through the nostril, and so it's a bit like Om, like when you do Om, but it's through the nostril. Okay, this sound and the activity is representative of the total functioning of the cosmos, including your body, all the bodies together, what is heard in the ears, what is felt in the body, the touch, taste, sound, mind, the movement of mind, the functioning of everything that you call life is held inside this. At the same time, you are to be aware of the emptiness in which this humming is taking place. The emptiness, you will notice, is untouched by the buzz. It is there at the same time. But where the buzz has a beginning point, the emptiness does not have a beginning point. It is there during the buzz. There's the emptiness which is untouched. When the buzz is finished, the breath is exhaled, it stops. The emptiness does not stop, and it does not start. You're going to notice that. This emptiness is the ground of your being. Your being is this all the time. It is all the time, this ground of being. It is from here that you can perceive the buzz of existence, which includes your body and everything moving and your sense of presence and everything. So simultaneously with there's the awareness, which is not the buzz, and it simply is. It is not the breath. It does not have a beginning or an end. That is like the field of being. Constantly, your waking state is evidenced from here. It is watched from here. But this place is not watching with eyeballs like that. Just perceiving of the functioning of life. Then, third thing to notice, which is not a thing at all, is that witnessing of the buzzing and the emptiness is also perceived, which means that this perceiving place is beyond both of them. Simultaneously, this is perceived by you. Once you've done this, and you may choose to repeat it by yourself anytime, you will clearly be able to register what is your true place. You will see that the buzz is just happening, the happenings of life, what you call life. The non-buzz, which is the empty field, is your natural state of being, which is not phenomenal. It's not coming about, moving about. It's very important to know this, not intellectually, but just to know this in your being. Some things you know without study. Simply they are revealed to you. It becomes clear for you. And finally, the fact that both these are also perceived to you. We are going to do this exercise for 3 breaths, and we'll leave it like that for now. The rest you can continue by yourself. Before you start, the finger will go here above the eyebrows, and then these ones will just cover in here, the eyes. And this, if you watch now, pay attention, the 2 thumbs, they will go and they will close the gates, what I call closing the gate, no? To the outer sound, so that when you release the breath, the sound stays in your head for a minute. It's just to keep out any other kind of distractions and to help you to focus. That's all. And you'll do that and pay attention to something in you which is doing nothing at all. And that is the presence itself. Somehow there's a sort of presence. It's very subtle. So let's go. Eyes here, hands here. Take a deep breath and release. Close the gates. empty. Breath again in, you're not doing anything. Release. Final breath, out, in, release. Very good, very good. Were you able to follow my point or not? Yes. So just like this, you can carry this exercise by yourself. It is just, let's not call it meditation, let's not call it anything. Okay? This is just your own silent seeing. Again, as I tell you, the buzz is just the waking state and its activities, like that. The witnessing of the buzz is also taking place without any effort. That is coming from the ground of the being itself. The sense of presence is there, but even the sense of presence is also witnessed. Now, there's no need to try and imagine what is witnessing that. It's enough just to know and to confirm that is witnessed. And that witnessing place is your absolute space. Not the way that your mind might imagine, so no imagination. This knowledge you intuitively have inside you for now. And that will grow and become much more clear for you. Along with the rest of satsang, what I am sharing with words and with energy with you as we speak, this also is explained and fulfilled in the exercise also. But just because our attention goes to certain kinds of concepts, we will continue to talk and address these concepts or conceptual blockages or energy blockages through satsang. But what I want to tell you and remind you again is that your being, your reality is always pure. All that you think and experience, all suffering and trouble and duality, is what we call dream. Why dream? Because it is not stable, it is fluctuating, and it's always determined by different moods and different factors are contributing to how you feel in each moment. By the time you try to analyze that movement, it's already gone. So the best is when you come to the state of that inner emptiness, like this, whereby your actions become spontaneous. When you don't think about that, but simply observe that, you will see and feel very happy that there's a harmony unfolding in life that is not sourced from your mind. It is simply the harmony of existence. Gradually you're coming to see that your actions they are the actions of the universe, not of the person. They always are, actually. Because the person cannot escape from the universal functioning. It is also part of that play. But the jnani, the sage in you, also, is that which is beyond the field of duality, beyond the manipulations, beyond the suffering or the projections that arise as the play of duality. What I'm pointing to you now, at some stage in your life, if you don't get it, you will still come back to what I'm pointing. Maybe from another mouth, from another place, it's okay, it's fine. Consciousness loses nothing whether you wake up or not. but in the play of existence, the urge of consciousness in its expression as humanity, the impulse in us is for freedom. That is the highest impulse in the human instrument. But because of the mind, we get distracted and tries to find that ultimate joy, the ultimate life, through objects and fleeting or momentary phenomena. Some of you are ready for that fulfillment or completion of the intuitive understanding. Others will benefit enormously from this being in satsang. Some may be not sufficiently attracted to that at the moment. That is also okay. They can come and go. Nothing is expected, but everything is possible. I will take another questioner now. Please come.
Namaste, Muji.
Namaste, darling.
I don't think I have another question. I've been seeking all my life. And the first time I heard you say, imagine there's no next,
Yes.
I stopped seeking.
Yes.
And so here I am, and I found trust.
Yes. Yes. This is beautiful. Can you hear? Because I say one time we're sitting here, just be present with yourself. Now, what if there was no next? No next thought, no next thing to do, no next projection. So you're only here. And here it has been recognized something profound. Did you choose to stop seeking, or did the tap just get turned off? What does it happen? Yeah.
Tap just got turned off.
Yes. This is the important thing. When there's no next, who are you? When there is no next, meaning because the mind is always jumping to next. I don't know if you are aware of this. And most of the time, as I said before, when you are having breakfast, the mind is saying, what's for lunch? You're having lunch. What's for dinner? In one way or another, it's always stepping towards the next moment. What is the next moment? And it creates agitation inside the being also. This is why many times you eat your lunch standing up, because your mind has become so infested with notions that it's creating energetically a restlessness. But as soon as that comment, that invitation, what if there's no next? Don't touch next. Who are you? Where are you? It's almost as though the clock stops. Not the outer clock, but the clock of the mind can begin to settle down into the stillness of now. Now, not talking about the moment now. Not the moment, the timeless now. Not now which is going to become next or later, or was past before, but that which indicates timelessness. I say the ways of the mind are ancient, but yourself is timeless. Not merely eternal, which means unending time, but timeless, meaning beyond time. That's not something that your mind is going to get a hold of and, okay, got it. No. It's deeper than the mind, truer than the mind. It is conversant with only your inmost being. Recognizes this, and it is like a mantra inside your infiniteness. in life, there is a kind of transcending. The urge of life is to transcend. It's another way you can say is to grow. We can use words like that. Or evolve, or mature. But ultimately it is a transcending also. Sometimes I say that the consciousness seems to create problems in order to have the experience of transcending the problem. It's not that life is a problem. No. But problem seems to come so that without this we could not aspire, and without aspiration you could not grow, you could not evolve, you could not mature. And so the life is a kind of maturing. But at the same time, it is a maturing against a background of unchanging awareness. What is taking place is a recognition of that unchanging awareness. With the recognition of that, a deep stillness is found inside your being. It is not reacting to life, but it's not dead. A great sage, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, he said, die, but don't be dead. It is speaking, referring to the same thing that I'm speaking. What it means, die, but don't be dead. It means be aware as awareness itself, from where witnessing of the world is taking place, and the pulse of existence is still moving in this body. The functioning of the intellect and all the inner powers are still functioning, but there's no identity actually with it. It is as though you're space inside space. You're like space moving about in space, but not spaced out, not talking spaced out, but inwardly like a space which is an intelligence whereby the senses are functioning, the mind can be functioning, but in synchronicity with heart. So you're alive, but dead as ego. We can use another word than dead as ego. Ego merged again in its source, from where it came. Same thing. We don't appreciate when you have strong identity with mind and ego and body, that when someone has come to a place whereby they are fully aware that they are the awareness, and that observing casually the functioning of manifestation occurs to them, doesn't seem like it's such a beautiful thing. But that's only from the perspective of the mind. In the actuality, such a one has conquered the world, has overcome the world. Christ said this also. Trust in God. When they was asking him, what should we do? Trust in God. Trust also in me, he said, because I have overcome the world. This is someone who is living in Palestine, who has never been to London, hasn't been to, Cape Town, hasn't been to Sahara Desert necessarily, haven't been to these places. How can he say, I have overcome the world? What is the world? There's one earth, but there are billions of worlds. What is a world? That psychological, psychosomatic functioning and perception shaped by conditioning and so much, and creative thinking and imagination, that is continuous movie going on inside our minds during the waking state, from which you need deep sleep to take a break from that. You only have to overcome the world, your world. You cannot overcome the earth. you can overcome the world, which is a world of projections, of concepts, of ideas, of attachments, of projections, of dreams, misunderstanding, ill-conceived knowledge. Always a limitation. I, he says, have overcome the world. I have not overpowered it, but I have overcome. Meaning, that began even according to the scriptures, Christian gospel, and I know not all of you are that, but it speaks the truth also. That was when he went into the wilderness. After the baptism of Christ, he was driven by some power into the wilderness, and there he spent 40 days and 40 nights, according to the scriptures, where he would meet his arch-enemy, meaning the darker forces, the devil, he said. And he was to undergo temptations. And he is to overcome them. And when he overcame them, it said, then only could his mission in the world begin. Like that. You also have your 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness of your own world to overcome that. All the fears, all the projections, the fear of death, even the fear of life also. The fears of rejection, of loneliness, of poverty, of attachments, all this. Each is overcoming like that. I point you to the quickest way. I point to the quickest way. By showing that which is already accomplished in you. And not so much emphasis on the journey that you will make, because the journey will be made by the idea you have of who you are, which is also shaped in consciousness, and which many people cannot escape from now. But there are some in whom the possibility is there. When I say sometimes you have to be the cow that jumped over the moon, people say, what is he talking about? The cows cannot jump over the moon. What it means is that you are going to jump out of your mind, over your mind. And very few people, the mind is the moon here, and very few beings can jump over their mind. At the same time. But all beings at the right time will have to jump over their mind. Otherwise you have to go through the forest of mind, which some people say we have been traveling through this forest of mind for lifetimes actually, picking up new bodies when the old ones are exhausted to complete that journey. But there is another way. The direct recognition of the truth which you already are, which is not a creative discovery, but simply pulling the curtains of ignorance apart and discovering your timeless being. This is the path of non-duality. But I accept also the expression of consciousness as duality also. If your temperament is that of a bhakta or of karma yoga, that is also the path to freedom. But the path I most emphasize is jnana yoga, which is that you can wake up today to the truth. And I like when I hear someone like you who come and is responding somehow from that place, which is that recognition. It's like the stop. Something has stopped. The wheels of the mind was turning. But somehow, something inside you was ready to stop. Let the train go on. But this wheel is not turning. In fact, there's no wheel here. That is the cow that jumped over the moon.
Thank you.
So, someone like you should be called Lakshmi or something like this. Ramana's cow who says awaken. They say these cows can't awaken, but Lakshmi awaken. You see, cow that jump over the moon.
Only gratefulness.
Very great, very great.
Thank you.
Once one of the girls from satsang, she was walking in the park, local park, and she saw another girl there, looked very radiant, this girl. And she was very attracted to her, so she walked over to her. And this girl that she saw was like kind of, I don't know, Hare Krishna dressing like this or whatever. So she says, "Hi, how are you? You look very happy." She says, "Yes, I am very happy. I found out such wonderful news today. Yes, I found out I only have another 5 lives to live. I have only 5 more lives to live." So our girl says, "What? I cannot wait 5 hours. I could not wait 5 hours." The mind can take many forms. Maybe before she was told, "Look, you have 20 lives to live." But through severe austerities and severe sadhana, now you only have 5, darling. "Swamiji, I'm so thankful. So thankful." But to another one, even if I have to wait 5 hours, it becomes unbearable in my heart. Maybe I have to wait 5 years, I don't know. But I cannot accept to wait for 5 years. This is the attitude of a true sadhaka, meaning the one whose life, whose candle is burning for freedom. Why not now? You say, if truth is eternal, it must also be here now. So why not now, is my question. What stands in the way? And people say, "But it's nothing I can do." You're saying, "It's here, but what can I do? It's nothing, I can't do anything." I said, you can begin to find out who you are. Forget about the enlightenment. Let's just find out who you are, or who you take yourself to be. If you understand that, I will take out the page from the book called Enlightenment and I will burn it. If you want. Okay? You find out who or what you are. And then see if there's anything missing. Would it not be strange if the thing that we seem to fear most is the thing that you have to find to be happy? Would it not be strange if that which you are so afraid of, or rather your mind, is the thing that is going to release your full happiness? The thing you most want is the thing you most are afraid of. Would it not be a strange paradox? Isn't it? Then find out, can I, what I truly am, be afraid of what I truly am? Or is there not some other mischievous factor there? Then what is this factor is there now? Then is this factor a fact, is it? Or fiction? You have to find out. It's important to know, to discern the difference between mind and yourself. Why? Is there not the same thing? At the root they are. They come from the same root. But when they sprout as manifestation, they are different. Mind becomes your adversary. It becomes the one that appears to be your friend but is a trickster. And you must overcome him. You cannot do without him, not yet. But at a certain point, you will part company. Either he will integrate with you in the proper way, or he will vanish. And why must you discern? Because you keep calling yourself him. The most powerful thing you can do is to combine yourself with something. When you say I actually can go all the way up to the ultimate. Because God says, I am. But the devil also say, I am. And all of us say, I am. Then you must discern, is it the same or not? What is I? Whoever is finding this question unavoidable for them, this one is already experiencing the birth pains to freedom. You're giving birth to yourself. Of all questions that can be asked, who or what is I? Where does it arise from? And what weakness is I? If these questions are solved in you, then your delusions will be dissolved. There is a power within us that seems to be there in order to keep our attention only upon what is transient, on the superficial life. And he will keep putting you from womb to womb to womb again. Is there anything wrong with rebirth? Well, no. No. Consciousness's dream will go on. But do you want that? Can you order your next birth? In the same way, you don't go to a restaurant and take your own menu. You don't come to life with a list of things that life should give to you. Find your life, which is the same thing as finding yourself. This is what it means. And life will serve you. Huh? That. Stage.
Good to see you again.
Same. Yes. Good.
You just mentioned something about the one thing that you really want is the one thing you are really afraid of.
Yes.
And most of us are afraid of death.
Most of us are afraid of death.
Yes. I mean,
Yes.
the fear of death is the greatest fear. So are you referring to death when you mention that?
Actually, death and the fear of death is one of God's greatest invention. Because the fear of death terrifies the living so much that it compels you to find that which can escape death. You follow? Death is one of God's greatest invention, because the fear of death so terrifies us that it compels us to search for what is deathless and what is unborn, which is what truly is and what truly we are. That. So it is a tremendous thing, because if there was no death at this level, life would be unbearable actually. If there was no change, can you imagine? There was just no change also. It's completely ridiculous. Anyway, there cannot be no change, because even to be here, you would have had to evolve to here. Unless something went, boom, okay, we're here, okay, fine. And you can't change. Means that if you were caught, if you arrived here with a smile, you can't change your smile, which is a horrible thing. And if you're here as a frown, you can't change your frown, because guess what? There's no change. So change is completely a natural, organic thing that's happening. So what is the attraction for the unchanging? Well, the unchanging doesn't mean that it is stagnant. And this is why sometimes fear is inside the minds of people. They feel when you speak about the unchanging, that it is, but it's not like that. It has no form, it is beyond form. So your point now is?
So I was just asking you, as you mentioned, that the one thing that we desire the most is the one thing that we fear a lot, that we are afraid of a lot, right?
One thing we're afraid of a lot is?
The one thing that that is the same thing that we desire most.
Yeah.
Is what? I mean, that, is that not how you put it?
Yes, we are afraid actually of freedom. It comes in the mind like that. We don't call it freedom, liberation, but in the psyche, in the mind, it makes a picture like it's the end of this. It is another state, it's exquisite, but it's not this, and I love this. Well, I hate it. But at least the love part of it is enough for me to want to stay here with this. We hate, it seems in the mind, the fear is there because I'm attracted to the notion of awakening, but maybe the actuality means the end of something that I don't want. I want to continue having my dualistic involvement, and awakening does not involve that. I said, that's not true. Because if that was the case, when a master wakes up to the truth, when somebody wakes up to the truth, that would just be the end of their life. And we see that it's not like that. They continue to enjoy, and they are here, and they are actually more alive than most of us, actually. Isn't it? So that throws that fear out. What I say is the thing we fear most is that we become attached so much to our projections that we are afraid, actually. In fact, what we are is not afraid, but the idea we have of who we are is afraid, because it sees realization of the self is the biggest sacrifice. Like, I have to give up all the things that I enjoy in order to be perfect. So that is not what it is, like that.
So when you mentioned that we fear, whatever we fear the most, the idea is like losing the joy is what we fear the most.
Well, joy is not the mind is not the source of joy.
Yes. Yeah.
Mind is not the source of joy. The being, the self, is the source of joy,
Yes.
not the mind. The mind is more the source of confusion, actually, about it.
Yeah.
You may say pleasure, but pleasure also is not, the mind is not the source of pleasure either. It's just often it chooses the root of pleasure more than the root of happiness. which is momentary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Another question, but this pertains to you. So I just want to touch upon the quality of a master. What really makes you repeat the same thing again and again, even seemingly it appears as if no one is getting it? I mean, what?
You hear his question? Why do you keep on talking the same thing and it appears nobody's getting it? Actually, sometimes I used to think, actually, everybody's got it. But they're pretending that they don't have it as a joke on me. So I'm here trying, but you are not this, and they're going, yes. And you all know it already. And finally they're going to go, ha ha ha, we got you, like that. But then it hasn't happened. That one hasn't happened. What makes you continue like this? Maybe love. I maybe I can say like this. Some love is making it happen because by myself, what is by myself? By myself is me. I don't know. But by the mind, who could do it? I don't know. Some power is there. The same power actually is there. It is speaking these things, not just only speaking also. Because it is prepared itself to be the listening of these things also. I have to tell you like that. Because it is this interaction on this part is totally energetic. Meaning that if there isn't room for the words, they will not come. You understand? If there is no room for receiving them, there will be no energy to offer them. Therefore, that which is speaking is also that which is listening. It has created that play for its own joy. So, what happens if I'm in an environment where there are people who are deeply resistant? Then somehow I would be struggling to speak, And it has happened a little bit. You will be struggling to speak. But because there are sufficient beings here for whom these words are life itself. There are others who are not here for this. They are not able to assimilate what I'm speaking. To some people it might even be unbearable. Their minds would just go too much. They are not yet ready for that. Are they the self? Yes, they are the self. But they are in a state of hypnosis, whereby they are strongly still under the influence of the mind, of the egoic mind. And so their mind will tell them, naturally they are slaves to the mind. The mind tell them, go, and they will go. They have no way to stop. You see? And some are very weak. I remember also, as I'm saying, excuse me for sharing this, but I was, somebody was visiting me. And he came with a friend. They came together a few times. So one time, this man, I don't know, he had been to see another teacher, had another kind of way of expressing something. And he sat down and he says, Muji, I don't have to be here, do I? I said, but of course you don't have to be here. He says, because I just feel like there's nothing to learn. Okay. So it's okay for me to go. I said, of course it's okay for you to go. So he gets up and he's walking, and this woman got up and also walking out. Says, where are you going? She goes, I came with him. I said, that is about the poorest response I have heard. You understand? That is the poor. Don't go anywhere with anybody. And don't have your fear to come home by yourself. You understand? I would say that. You go into a limousine, they take you to the gates of heaven and they're turning back, and you don't have bus fare to go back. You say, listen, just leave me here, I'll be fine, and walk home. Because your relationship with another human being, I don't know the duration it's going to be. It could be for another week, another day, another year, maybe your whole life, I don't know. But this is about your timelessness. This is about your timelessness. So you give full, is my encouragement. You go with somebody when they want to go, if you want to stay. I had another couple came also to see me in London. They came from Spain. They wrote and said, we know that you're having satsang on Sunday. We want to come, but my wife and I, we have back problems and we cannot sit on the floor. Could you save some seats? And I live in my front room is about the size of this piece of carpet, actually. Sometimes we have like 50 people in there. I don't know how, but like that. I said, we cannot save a seat. We'll try, but there are few seats. It's a bit bigger than this. So these people came, and they arrived at Heathrow Airport, and they booked into their hotel, and then they took a taxi and came all the way to Brixton, which is quite a good way, to satsang on Sunday. They arrived a bit late, and outside of my small apartment, we have a little porch area that you can sit with a bench, put speakers out there for people who are late and everything, so you can be in the satsang. They came. When they came, they couldn't get in because it was full. And you know what happened? They were very annoyed. Come all the way from Madrid. And they decided we're not going to stay. Although they could sit and hear everything, they were so indignant, we're not staying, we're going. So what happened is that the taxi driver didn't want to go. So the taxi driver who took them says, Madam, I'll call a car for you. It will be here in 10 minutes. But I feel I need to stay here. You understand? Life works in strange ways. I don't know why I got to tell that one.
But I'm glad you told that.
Huh?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, me too. I'm saying these things. Yes, I got it now. I remember now. I forgot now again. Why? Because you say, why am I speaking over and over again? When it seems so few people get it. Yeah. If one get it in the way that you are meant to get it, my heart is happy. You understand? It is true. Because even we know about like Buddha or Christ or something like that. Buddha 2,500 years ago, something like this. 2,500 years ago, human being got this. And 2,500 years later, he's having new disciples are becoming Buddhists, isn't it? His physical form is not here anymore, isn't it? Like that. Christ, 2,000 years ago. Still today, new Christians are coming. Rama, maybe 7,000 years ago. Still, new people devoted to Lord Ram. Why? Because that light shone in this world. The same light is you. The same light is you. What obscures this light? Identity. Identity. I say in the same way, like I can put my finger and cover the sun. One thought, ill-conceived, can eclipse your intuitive recognition of your own timelessness. Find out what that thought is. In satsang, it will be removed. For those of you whose time has come for that. For those of you whose time has come. I don't know ahead of time. Just somebody comes, and in them, maybe they don't know either, but in a moment somehow a clear space is seen, and the grinding wheel of samsara stop. It has to stop. Because why? You don't have to make a self. It is already here. You see? You only have to start seeing from the true self, not from the idea you have of who you are. This is the beauty of satsang. And while you're here, maybe you may have the feeling, I don't know how far I've come and all of this. I say all the beings in satsang, they are a bit like a piece of ice in a bowl of warm water, and the melting is taking place. Now, the ice cannot decide, look, I am not going to melt. While it's in the water, it will be melting. Even out of the water, it's melting. But in the water, it is melting very well. Every now and again, a blowtorch is added to the mixture. And things are speeded up. And ice is water, water is water. We are the self, but the self plus conditioning and belief and all of this. And you are coming to see through all of this and to recognize again that which is timeless. And be that.
Now, from the seeker's perspective, the identity that is given to different people from different parts of the world is not the same. So, what is this game? Like, how do they really come to know that there is another path that I can go and I can seek? I mean, there is something beyond this identity that I should go and seek. How would that happen?
That urge springs from inside you. All real urges, they spring from inside you. Even though they may appear to come from outside, they're actually springing from inside. You see? Because truth is one. The universe is one whole thing. You may see on the surface of Ganga all kind of different waves, but no wave has autonomy. It cannot just say, I think I'll go this way today. No, it is the action of the total Ganga is making. In the same way as each human consciousness flowers into a deeper seeing, that flowering comes from inside, not just from outside. Outside may play, in fact, there's no real outside actually. There's only outside because we refer to ourselves as this body. So there's like inside the body and outside the body. But in reality, there's not really so much outside. You see? But it does come from within you. From inside this understanding is coming. This urge is coming. You don't know. You go to the north, you end up in the east somewhere. But the one who is aware feels all is well. Because they are not so dictating their life or strategizing their existence. They are more in a space of openness, a kind of surrendered state. So with them, all things go well, like that. And when it's time somehow to go to the temple, especially the temple of your own self, an urge will stir inside them. This is why I say to people here also, in satsang, in a moment you may think, I have no question, or I've seen it, or whatever, or it's not for me. But sometimes, if it's your turn, your time, not your mind's timing, but your soul's timing, something will pull you here. We will bump into each other someplace. Something is going to happen. It will not be missed. Like that.
So, one last question. What should be the attitude of the seeker? I mean, would you really kind of like explain and expand on that? I mean,
what should be the attitude of the seeker? I must find it today. That is the attitude of the seeker. I must find it today. Because any kind of complacency, and you create time, it just flows on. It's okay, because also consciousness is behind this somehow. What is the attitude? The very attitude of the seeker is created by grace. The attitude of the seeker is also the expression of grace. You see, the human being is itself the expression of consciousness. The human being is not the dictator or the controller of consciousness. It is only one amongst many instruments through which consciousness expresses itself. We highly overrate ourselves. We think that we as the human instrument, somehow is running things. But we are ourselves being run by consciousness. Now, I make this further thing to say that we ourselves are the consciousness. But when you are identified with the body, you will think of yourself merely as a person. A person is also consciousness, but it's very partial consciousness. It's consciousness with a handicap, actually. So the attitude of the seeker, I say, let it be like this. Whatever can be found today, let it be found. I must find it today. If truth is infinite and omnipresent, it must be here. So it must be in here too. So what obstructs me from finding this? This is also attitude of the seeker. In some texts, scriptures texts, they say that 1 in millions of beings are searching for the truth in the correct way. And out of those millions, 1 out of millions find it as it really is. And I have to say that of all the scriptures, this is the one that I can least accept. Because I see that all are that. All is that. But you ask about the seeker's attitude, best attitude would be, if there's only 1 out of millions who will find it, that will be me. That's got to be me. That at least you can say. But I don't agree. I just think in each one, the truth is there. In each body that is sitting here, listening to these words, feeling the response that takes place energetically and intuitively within yourself. That is your encounter and your communion with truth. That is already that. So that is itself testifying that the truth is already here in you. Nobody has ever said, I found the truth in Glasgow, or I found the truth. No, you found the truth in yourself. Because it has always been there. Nobody has said, I created such a beautiful truth inside myself. No, it cannot be created because it is already perfect. You can only say it was discovered here, right where I am.
Great. Thank you, Oji.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Thank you.
Any chance of you coming to Bangalore this year?
Not this time. Not this time. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay, thank you. Sure. Okay. Just before we leave today, just take a minute now. You may find this easier if you close your eyes. You may, but you don't have to. Most of you are about to leave from this place and enter into spaces which are much more energetic, more noisy, sometimes chaotic, sometimes demanding, like this. But what you are recognizing now is that there is a space within you. If you have been in satsang, that space becomes self-evident. It is not just a physical space. It is a space of being. It is not a person. And it has no stories attached to it. that which we refer to as the mind arises as thoughts. I would include also feelings. They come in the space of the consciousness. Be aware of them as they arise, but don't attach yourself to them or follow their pull. Simply stay in this and as this neutral space. Again, remember, you're not merely a person. You're the space in which all sensations appear and are perceived effortlessly. Whether you're here in this moment, sitting, or you're outside, the ground of being remains the same. All that is important is to bring your attention to be one with this. It is not difficult. No force is required. If even this feels challenging or difficult, then simply drop every effort and every idea you have about who you are or what the world is. This also you can do. And consider it done. Any feeling of waiting or anticipation, also cut the juice to those feelings. You don't need them. About what is next, you don't need. What is past, you don't need. What is present, you don't need. It's not a need. The activity of life will continue to unfold and will be perceived in you naturally. But you are not that. You're only there relatively. The background to that is this unchanging awareness. It is easy now to be self-aware because your mind is in satsang, the satsang of your own self. Notice if you move to the left or the right, it makes no difference to your inmost being. If you eat this thing or that thing, it makes no difference to this underlying being. Simply learn to stay free of identifying with situations, circumstances, with the body, with what appears to be happening. By not identifying, your powers of perceiving clearly becomes effortless. The state of emptiness that you are perceiving within yourself is the natural state of your being in the waking state. Just like right now, you are aware of the phenomenal movements of sound, of touch, of taste, or the movements of the mind, emotion, feeling. But you're not caught in any trap. And you don't have to be controlling any of them. paying attention only to your own presence, but no self-image. That feeling of emptiness, get used to it. Fall in love with it. Again, as I remember and remind you, don't be anticipating or waiting for what is next. Cut this concept out of your mind and let life unfold by its own sweetness, its own rhythm. Pay attention to your own stillness. It is, after all, completely natural. If your heart and mind is saying yes to freedom and truth, there will be an automatic move inside you, a kind of spring cleaning that takes place in the house of the mind, feelings and so on. You don't have to be going around with a broom. Simply you keep quiet and observe and hold an attitude of gratitude itself. Get used to feeling thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This will clean your house. Whatever your body needs to do, or your mind, remember this. Don't try too hard to do anything. Space is very important, inner space. So anytime you want, even if it's for 1 or 2 minutes, find a space just to confirm your position again and again and again. What I'm sharing with you is truly simple. There's not a great deal to be done. As you move about today, you will notice a field of peace is with you. The mind will try and sabotage this peace. Don't fight with your mind. Simply stay as the peace itself, that's all. Don't be making any assessment of your mind or how you're doing. Forget everything and keep quiet. You will notice beautiful things today, but don't identify with anything. I say this to you because I look forward to next moment and we meet. You can share from this finding. Your being will feel much lighter. For some of you, it will be weightless. Om. Very good, very good. Can we have someone, anybody want to come today? Jump. Very good.
the nature of Sat Chit Ananda. I am of the nature of consciousness. I am of the nature of truth. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva I am of the nature that transcends all time. I am of the nature that transcends all space. I am of the nature that transcends everything. I am of the nature of truth. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva I am of the nature that has no name. I am of the nature that has no form. I am of the nature that has no belief. I am of the nature of truth. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva that is all pervasive. I am of the nature that is Brahman alone. I am of the nature of pure awareness. I am of the nature of truth. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva Om. I am of the nature of truth.